Brooklyn Brownstone gets a new patio. The homeowners had just finished a complete renovation of the Brownstone's top 3 floors before enlisting Flows to conquer the backyard. A victim of neglect, the yard was a mess and a hazard, with uneven or missing pavers, dying shrubs, and junk left over from the previous owners. It's definitely not a space in which the family's 3 children could play. Concentrating on textures, Florence and Cecilia chose original bluestone pavers for the patio and natural cleft field stones for the low dry walls, which also double as seating because of the limited space. Ipe is also used for the patio table and bench, which can be used for dining or activities when the weather is nice. The family can step down into the garden for privacy and the fresh air without having to worry about nosy neighbors peering at them. In a small space, Flo's Gardens created an organic haven through rich materials and plants that grow from different spots and at various levels. The flowering plum tree remained. "It's beautiful, so we kept it," says Florence. "We pruned it drastically to give the garden more light." Flo's puts window boxes throughout the space where they are accessible to maintain and make a dramatic display. Plants are changed out seasonally or for the holidays, and many of Flo's Brooklyn clients retain them on an annual basis for maintenance and updates. Flo's Gardens is known around Brooklyn for their beautiful window boxes, which change with the seasons. Inspiration comes with our finds in the nurseries, like a cook would prepare his or her specials with the market produce, says Florence. The mood of the moment influences colors, flow, of composition and boldness. In addition to window boxes, Florence and Cecilia like to spruce up the sidewalks for some real curb appeal. During the winter holidays, they add pine and spruce cuttings, pine cones, and other seasonal greens to spaces that often are ignored. Like the symbolic tree that reaches for sunny skies through the shady courtyard in the 1940s book and film, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, the ornamental plum in this Cobble Hill courtyard provides its owners with color, privacy, and a touch of nature in a big city. It was one of the few elements from the original yard that remained. Florence and Cecilia focused on giving the narrow yard some privacy and emphasizing materials, textures, and the contrasts between them. That's how they came up with the idea of building a pergola out of rich, sturdy ipe wood. The structure provides warmth, privacy, and comfort while using vertical space. Up or down are pretty much the only directions to create garden space in a city. It is nice to have something over your head, giving a safe and cozy atmosphere to any garden, says Cecilia. Sun shines through the trees onto the patio. Florence and Cecilia know what works and what doesn't in Brooklyn's sun and shade gardens. Most urban gardens are in the shade and lack air circulation, Florence explains. Extreme heat in summer promotes mildew and various types of fungus. So, the soil has to be cultivated constantly, plants have to be treated, and the water supply must be closely monitored. Humidity versus heat might be tricky. In terms of plants, it depends on sun exposure. Birch, hellebores, and heucheras are a nice mix. We also like to plant spring bulbs, clematis, and when the light allows it, climbing roses. We love to work with everything climbing, as it doesn't eat up space and gives a real, garden feel to the outdoors. When it came to Softscape plants, the designers were challenged with 2 issues. Plants grow in planter boxes, small beds, and containers. Flo's Gardens maintains most of their clients' containers with seasonal updates. Larger projects, like this Cobble Hill yard, presented logistics challenges that many landscape designers face when doing a major remodel, introducing new hardscape, and building structures. Larger objects require wider and easier access to the yard. In this case, the crew's access point was the rear garden. It's always a challenge to bring soil, long stretches of wood, and all types of construction materials through a small door and narrow corridor, explains Florence. Since the yard is shady or has dappled sunshine, Flo's selected shade-loving plants like hellebores and hostas. Florence and Cecilia are especially fond of hellebores, which is known as the Christmas rose because it blooms early in winter. Hellebores thrive in light shade, but need fertile, slightly alkaline soil and should be planted deeply. They also benefit from an application of mulch in the summer to help form buds. Shade lovers come and go, but Flo's recommends ferns, lime sweet potato vine, pink begonias, and blue Terrania Fournier. Other plants used in the Cobble Hill yard include Heuchera villosa, autumn bride, coral bells, lily of the valley, bleeding hearts, and the above-mentioned clematis, birch trees, hostas, and ferns. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more interesting videos. And please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm.